Hi, Anti-Society, and welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, or I guess maybe just welcome to the Antisocial Planet, because today we are watching episodes 1 and 2 of Vinland Saga. So, I don't know a whole lot about this show going into it. I know it's about Vikings. I know that there's a book called the Vinland Saga, like an actual book that's kind of like mythology or something that has to do with Vikings. I'm not entirely sure. My knowledge of Vikings is limited, so I don't have a whole lot of context going into this show. I don't fully know what it's about other than the whole Viking thing. You guys voted for it over on the Discord, so this is going to be the new show that we're adding to the channel, and it's actually one that I've wanted to watch for a while because I've heard good things about it. I've seen like other people reacting to it on YouTube, so let's just get into episode 1. In 3, 2, 1, go. I'm actually really excited for this. Wheatfield? Who are you? Oh. Oh, I feel a tragic backstory coming on. Yeah. What a transition, like the lighting difference between like the soft lighting and then a very like flat lighting for this. Oof. So it's that kind of show, huh? Good to let me know that, within the first few seconds. Just remembering. Wow, the blonde guy is very tall compared to Thor. Thor's? We're just hopping from ship to ship. That's pretty cool though. Sorry, not the. I like the way that the camera is moving because it's making it seem like 3D, which for the most part it isn't a 3D model. Like it's a 2D. It's 2D animation, so like being able to turn the camera and make it seem like it was three-dimensional, it's a really hard thing to do. Oh no. Ugh. This show's gonna stress me out. I can just feel it already. Like, ooh. I don't know the point of trying to strangle someone underwater. They can't breathe anyway. He seems kind of a little bit intentionally disconnected from the violence. Like he's been living in it too long for it to really affect him anymore. Which worries me. How are you gonna get back on your ship? Oh, if there is a ship. Wow. What an opening, though. Who are we fighting and why? That's my next question. Oof. Who's the blonde? Who keeps being all the shots? I think I know this band. In another installment of I randomly know the band that did the opener for the anime I'm watching. Oh, is the kid Thor's kid? There's some beautiful scenery. I think I'm just used to watching older anime at this point, but like, I forgot how much it's improved in the last like 10 years. Okay, fish. That seems. See, like, look at that. Just dazzled by the art. Don't mind me. I never learned to weave. I've always wanted to. Ooh, poor little thing. A little face. Are we waiting for father to come home? Wondering if he will? Or just curious about going out onto the ocean? I'm gonna go with curious about the sea and sailing. But the way he looks dazzled by the stories. He wants adventure. Oh. Are we trying to get to Vinland? Is that the saga? So if Thor's is there, I'm assuming that we're flashbacking? Oh no. I mean, I think it's just a lot that he wants Thor's to fight the battle for him against some kids. Uh-oh, you should not be wandering out in the cold just like that. But you also have a chain around your neck, so I'm assuming this is a runaway situation. Uh-oh. Oh, ruined his heroic moment. I mean, slavery is bad, so don't get a slave. Ooh, at days like that. So, is it the person? Okay, but if you want to stay warm out the cold, it is actually beneficial to be under the snow. I ask myself that a lot too. Yeah, it looks like his hands and feet already have like frostbite on them. I feel like that's gonna be a hard lesson to learn. That sometimes running away is the only thing to do in order to eventually win the fight, right? Uh-oh. Well, you seem unpleasant. Seems like some bad history between these two groups of people. Uh-oh. Ooh. Yep, please do not give the slave back to that. No, what slave? Haven't seen anyone. Is he gonna pay for him? Yeah, definitely do not give him back. At least he didn't have to go back to the place he Hated though. Who was guy with scar? What's in the chest? Has to be important. There's no way we're ominously facing it for no reason. Is it his like armor from when he was a warrior when he was fighting? I feel like there's a really good adventure story but to happen, but it is also going to break me emotionally. So I was briefly mesmerized by the music. I love the Aurora Borealis as well. See, that's the scene at the beginning. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like I don't have a lot to go into right now because that was only the first episode, so I don't have a lot of context about the characters and the conflicts and stuff like that. But, you know, we got to see some of the main characters. We, of course, had Thors, who has this past of being a warrior of some kind. I'm going to assume that that opening scene we saw was in his past because we did briefly see a glimpse of him thinking about like his wife back home with a baby, and now his kids are more grown up, so I'm going to assume that that was in his past, kind of what he went through as being a warrior and a fighter. And now we're kind of cutting to him in more of a, like, he seems to be kind of a leadership role in this community that he has. People tend to look up to him, so that might be because he was a warrior and he has kind of like a hero image in the people that live there. It might also be just because he seems to be very, I don't know, empathetic, and he seems to be very aware of, you know, the different facets of bringing a people together. Again, I've only watched the one episode, so I can't say a whole lot about his character and who he is. And then of course we have Thorfinn, who seems to be the main character, I'm gonna say, given how much he shows up in the opener, but also because young protagonist in action adventure anime seems to be how we're going. But I did like that the conflicts in this show so far seem to be way more complex than, like, here is a group of people or creatures and they are bad, so we are going to fight them. One of the conflicts seems to be environmental. Like, it seems to just be they live in a very unhospitable place. It is cold, it is barren, there are storms, like it's hard to grow food and raise livestock. It's very isolated. So that makes a very good opposing force to the characters. And I'm assuming that a lot of the allure of finding Vinland, I'm assuming that that's going to be kind of the quest of the show, is finding Vinland, is partly going to be because Thorfinn seems to be very enamored with the idea of traveling and seeing the world and, being a warrior like his father is. But also, I'm going to predict now that there's going to be some kind of tragedy that makes him desperate to find Vinland, to find this place that is full of greenery and warmth and is going to be easier for him and his family and the people around him to live and survive. And we've already seen they're already struggling with where they are, and even in the location that they're in, we have kind of the second conflict that's been set up, and that is, I guess technically this other group of people that live like over the mountains from them, and how they seem to have a little bit of animosity between them, but also a differing idea of ideals. But I think like the real conflict here is slavery, introducing that that's a thing, that there are people in the world that view other humans as less than human, and that opens up a lot of opportunities for conflict, but also ways of just exploring the different dynamics between groups of peoples, because you can't have slavery without one group or more people being seen as less than human. So there's gonna be probably some tensions between different groups of people, different ways of them interacting with each other. There's going to be probably a sense of pride in one's own group of people and how that conflicts with the other. Yeah, I think there'll be probably some intriguing storylines if they decide to lean a little bit more into that. I don't know if it was set up just to introduce this group of people that Thor's kind of village has some conflict with, or if we are going to further explore that. Again, I've only seen the first episode at this point. I'm always intrigued by complex conflicts. I feel like it's very easy to be like, here's the bad guy, and like, this is who we're going to be fighting up against, or having a big bad of the week, which happens a lot with shows. I like when it's something that's more like, person versus environment, or person versus ideology or morality and stuff like that. And you can have person-to-person conflicts and introduce those ideas as like undertones to like why the conflict is happening. I'm very intrigued about where exactly this show is going to go in terms of that. I have a pretty strong feeling that we are going to deal with Thorfinn like going on a quest to find Vinland, but I'm not really sure what forces are going to be acting against him really, except like how treacherous it is to travel across an ocean. Let's just get into episode 2. In 3, 2, 1, go. Starting with the opener again. And not just a scene of death and destruction. So there's a lot of battle scenes going on, which just makes me think that there's gonna be some awful conflict about to happen. And I think that's Thorfinn, like older, but seems a little bit intense. Like he's been through some stuff. See, like he changes so quickly from like optimistic and youthful to just like really intense. This show's definitely gonna break my heart in some way. I can feel it. Northumbrian? Uh-oh. Catching them unaware. Oof. A couple of them playing dead. Poor Thorfinn. Plus, you kind of don't want to be in Valhalla. Odin's not the best person. The pout, though. Uh-oh. Hmm. So he's a smith of some kind. Oh, not a very good one. I hope they're just here for supplies. They're looking for him specifically. Yeah, I'm like, isn't that the guy that was in the opening scene in the last episode? Is he angry because he's getting pulled back into the battlefield? Uh-oh. I don't think Thor's likes being a warrior, though. He deserted? Was that because he, like, wasn't on the boat and decided to just leave? Good imagery there of the spark and then it going out in his drink to kind of like mirror his anger. Yeah, he's definitely trying to intimidate you. But I think he also likes showing off that he has a warship. See the little threat there of being like, what a peaceful village. It would be awful if a war came. Slightly crazed look makes me uncomfortable. I'm assuming that means that Thor's agreed to go with them. He's gonna be horribly ruined in this war, isn't he? Because he's so excited. The difference between those who have seen the battlefield and those who haven't. It's a interesting contrast. Oh, this war is gonna ruin Thorfinn, isn't it? He seems very confident. Oof. Thorfinn trying to prove himself so he can go. Oh no. Oh. Oh. He's determined to go with him. Oh. Oh. The worried father. He's only 6? Yeah, Thor's is not gonna want his son anywhere near this war. Is he going to the chest that we saw at the end of the last episode? I have a very bad feeling, and I don't want him to become a warrior because it's not gonna be what he thinks it is. Beautifully framed shot, though, with the light on his eyes. I was like, doesn't that hurt? Just grabbing a bare blade? Agreed. I love the symbolism of him, like the father willing to bleed in order to protect his son. Just saying. I feel like he is gonna like stow away on that ship or something. Oh, I'm gonna go with no. My heart rate is starting to go up. These two planning together make me very uncomfortable. Are they planning to kill Thor's? Ooh. I'm not gonna watch the ending because it looks like there isn't a preview or anything, but even if there is, I'm gonna skip it. I didn't think that we were going to get into like war right out of the get-go. I thought that there was going to be more of like an adventure element, like I was saying before about like going to try and find Vinland and like that being part of it, and then like encountering war and different kinds of people as a result of that travel. I wasn't expecting like the tragedy that I was like, oh, there has to be like something that like pushes Thorfinn out of his home and like out of the world that he knows. I didn't expect it to be like a full-on war going on. And I think it says a lot that I'm only on episode 2 and the idea that someone is plotting to kill Thors is getting my heart a little bit, because I like him. I like that even though he's a warrior and he like comes from a fighting background, he's more of a pacifist, and like he sees something worth living for outside of whatever people find in battle of glory or notoriety or whatever. Like he has all of that, and he could continue to have that if he joins this war or had stayed being a warrior, and yet he decided to go on to something different. Like when he was talking about how one day he just decided he didn't want to kill people for money anymore. There was a wonderful shot of like his wife, and I'm like, yeah, like it's her, it's the child that he was thinking of in that flashback, it's this village. And you can see that when I was saying he literally is willing to bleed in order to shelter Thorfinn. Like he grabbed onto that blade because he wanted, one, to protect probably this 6-year-old that had a knife in his hand, and 2, wanted to protect Thorfinn from being part of that mentality that fighting and going to battle and being a warrior is like where true glory comes from, like where happiness and like purpose for living comes from. And him very much saying like, you know, it's never okay to hurt someone. It's never okay. And I feel like that is a very important line that I think is going to come up again recurringly, you know, because I can sense some death flags around Thor's, you know, kind father figure, bit of a mentor character. I don't feel good about his chances, maybe not like right now where people are like plotting to kill him, if that's like actually when he's gonna die, but I have a feeling a tragic and very heart-wrenching death of Thor's is in the near future, and it's gonna be kind of a shifting moment for Thorfinn. If not, I don't want to think of what the actual tragedy is gonna be that pushes Thorfinn into that different kind of like different intensity that he has in the way that we've seen him in the opener. But even like in that episode, he shifted into a different intensity. Like he has a very narrow focus on wanting to be part of this battle, on wanting to be part of this whole adventure that he sees it as, going along with these older boys from the village and his father, wanting to be part of that. It's a very different demeanor to him than at the beginning. Like even attacking all of those kids was like not something that I would have thought he would do, like kind of ruthlessly and unfeelingly being part of that. And I think even Thor's was like taken aback a little bit by this shift that Thorfinn has had, and I definitely think that he's gonna stow away on that ship or something. Like he's gonna find a way to go along with his father, even if he like comes after him later. Like he's gonna find a way to be a part of this because he looks so determined, and it worries me because I'm always a worried mother. Every time I go into a new show, I just worry about everyone. So, you know, and he's 6, and I want to protect him. You can click this playlist to watch the videos that I will eventually do on this series, or you can subscribe. I'm going to be posting new Vinland Saga videos every Thursday, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!